Welcome dear learners to this video on the basics of script writing, which is included in the module Script Writing of your Creative Writing course. Whether you are an aspiring script writer, a storyteller, seeking fresh creative paths, or just someone eager to grasp the complexities of writing for visual media, this video aims to give you an idea of the art and scale of script writing. In this video, you will acquire a comprehensive idea of the key principles that characterize script writing, investigate how it differentiates itself from other literary forms, and analyze the crucial elements that lead to the development of an impactful and engaging script. So now let us explore the intriguing realm of script writing and reveal the methods and tools that animate narratives for both screen and stage. So before we begin, let us outline what we will learn in this video. By the end of this video, you will be able to define script writing and explain its purpose, differentiate script writing from other forms of writing, explore the major features of script writing, identify the different types of scripts, and explain the key elements of a script. So let us start with the basics. What exactly is script writing? Script writing, also known as screenwriting, is the art and craft of writing scripts for visual and auditory media such as films, television shows, video games, and theatre. It involves creating a blueprint for a production, detailing dialogue, actions, and visual elements that bring a story to life. According to Sid Field, a renowned screenwriting expert, I quote, "A screenplay is a story told with pictures in dialogue and description and placed within the context of dramatic structure." This definition emphasizes the visual and structural nature of script writing, distinguishing it from other forms of writing. Robert McKee, in his seminal work Story, Substance, Structure, Style, and the Principles of Screenwriting, defines screenwriting as, I quote, "the art of creating a narrative that is both emotionally engaging and visually compelling." So he highlights the dual focus of script writing on storytelling and visual representation, which are essential for engaging the audience. In essence, script writing is about showing and not telling. It is about crafting a story that can be translated into a visual and auditory experience for the audience. Now, talking about the importance of script writing, it is highly important as it acts as the essential framework for all visual and auditory storytelling formats, such as films, television programs, theaters, and also video games. It converts abstract concepts into organized narratives, assisting directors, actors, and production teams in realizing stories. A thoughtfully constructed script not only delivers the story, but also develops characters, feelings, and themes, providing a unified and captivating experience for the viewers. By merging artistic creativity with technical accuracy, script writing connects imagination and execution, rendering it an essential art form in the realm of storytelling. Now that we are acquainted with the definition and importance of script writing, we have to look at script writing as a distinct form because it is totally different from the other forms of writing we have discussed so far in the videos of the previous modules of this course. So what are the aspects that sets it apart from other forms of writing like novels, poetry, or essays. To understand this, let us look at the next section: script writing versus other forms of writing. So, novels versus script writing. Novels are a literary form that relies heavily on descriptive prose and internal monologues to convey emotions, settings, and thoughts. Authors use rich, detailed language to paint a picture in the reader's mind, often delving into a character's inner world. For example, in Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, the narrator describes Elizabeth Bennet's feelings in detail. Quote, "She was humbled, she was grieved, she repented, though she hardly knew of what." Unquote. In contrast, script writing focuses on visual and auditory elements, showing rather than telling. A scriptwriter conveys emotions and thoughts through actions, dialogue, and visual cues. For instance, in the screenplay for The Social Network written by Aaron Sorkin, Mark Zuckerberg's frustration is shown through his rapid-fire dialogue and intense typing during the opening scene, rather than a description of his feelings. So this approach allows the audience to interpret emotions through performance and visuals, making scripts more dynamic and suited for production. Now let us understand how is it different from poetry. Poetry is an artistic form of writing that often emphasizes rhythm, imagery, and abstract emotions, and is deeply personal and open to interpretation, relying very heavily on metaphors and symbolism. Script writing, however, is more structured and practical. It is designed to suit or guide a production team. It requires clarity and precision to ensure that directors, actors, and crew members can interpret and execute the story effectively. For example, in the script for The Shawshank Redemption, written by Frank Darabont, the scene where Andy Dufresne escapes from prison is described in clear, actionable terms. Quote, "Andy peels off his prison shirt, revealing the warden's suit underneath. He crawls through the sewage pipe, emerging into the rain free." This direct visual description contrasts with the abstract nature of poetry, highlighting the functional aspect of script writing. Next, how is it different from essay? Essays are typically argumentative or informative, presenting facts, opinions, or analysis in a structured format, with an aim to persuade, inform, or educate the readers. For example, in George Orwell's essay, Politics and the English Language, he critiques the misuse of language in political discourse, using logical arguments and examples to support his point. Script writing, on the other hand, is narrative driven, focusing on storytelling through characters, plot, and dialogue. It aims to engage the audience emotionally and visually, rather than presenting arguments or information. For instance, in the screenplay for Inception, written by Christopher Nolan, the complex concept of shared dreaming is explained through dialogue and action, such as the scene where Cobb, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, teaches Ariadne, which was played by Elliot Page, how to manipulate dreams. The exposition is woven into the narrative, making it engaging and accessible to the audience. These comparisons highlight the unique characteristics of script writing compared to other forms of writing. By understanding these distinctions, learners can appreciate the specialized skills required for script writing and its role in bringing stories to life on screen and stage. From our discussion, we can see that there are several features that makes the process of script writing distinct. So let us explore the key features that define script writing. So the major features of script writing may be outlined as: number 1, visual storytelling. Scripts rely on actions, settings, and visuals to convey the story rather than descriptive prose. This is because scripts are blueprints for visual media like films, TV shows, or plays. Instead of telling the audience what a character feels or thinks, scripts show it through the actions, expressions, and surroundings. For example, in the screenplay, again let us take the example of The Shawshank Redemption. Instead of writing, Andy feels hopeful, the script describes Andy standing in the rain, arms outstretched, as he experiences freedom after escaping prison. So this visual moment conveys his emotions powerfully without a single word of dialogue. So this visual storytelling also includes the use of settings, props, and visual metaphors to enhance the narrative. For instance, in The Godfather, the recurring image of oranges symbolizes impending danger or death, adding depth to the story. Secondly, dialogue-driven. Dialogue is a key component of scripts, serving multiple purposes, like revealing character traits, advancing the plot, and conveying emotions, which can rely on internal monologues. Scripts depend on what characters say and how they say it to drive the story forward. Effective dialogue is natural yet purposeful, avoiding unnecessary exposition while revealing subtext and relationships. Scripts follows specific structures, that is, to ensure a coherent and engaging narrative. The most common structure is the 3-act format, which divides the story into setup, confrontation, and resolution. This framework helps maintain pacing and keeps the audience invested. For example, in The Lion King, Act 1 introduces Simba and his world. Act 2 explores his exile and growth, and Act 3 resolves his return and triumph over Scar. Other structures such as non-linear narratives or episodic formats like TV series also exist but require careful planning to maintain clarity and impact. However, it must be noted that a story evolves and there is no fixed structure that works for the telling of a story, because each new story is its own prototype and each must be created anew. The main reason why a scriptwriter follows the structure of a beginning, middle, and end is to organize ideas about how to tell the story and to aid him in discovering the best places for major moments in the story to fall for maximum impact, as noted by David Howard and Edward Mabley in the book The Tools of Screenplay, a writer's guide to the craft and elements of a screenplay. Fourthly, conciseness. Scripts are concise and to the point, as they are meant to be performed rather than read like a novel. Every word, action, and scene must serve a purpose, whether it's advancing the plot, developing a character, or setting the tone. Conciseness also applies to scene descriptions. Instead of lengthy prose, scripts use short, vivid phrases to convey settings and actions. For instance, look at your screen. INT coffee shop day. Crowded, noisy. Rita sits alone, stirring her coffee, lost in thought. So this brevity ensures the script remains focused and production friendly. Fifthly, collaborative. Scripts are blueprints for production, as I have already mentioned, designed to be interpreted and brought to life by directors, actors, and crew members. This collaborative nature means that script writers must leave room for creative input while providing clear guidance. For example, in The Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson and his team expanded on J.R.R. Tolkien's world, adding visual elements and interpretations that complemented the screenplay. Collaboration also extends to actors who bring their own interpretations to the dialogue and action. We have many instances of such collaborations. Let us take the example of Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight, that added layers of unpredictability and menace that weren't fully captured in the script alone. These are the features that make script writing a distinct and dynamic form of writing. These elements ensure that scripts are not only compelling to read but also adaptable for production, allowing stories to come alive on screen or stage. Understanding and grasping these aspects is essential for creating impactful scripts. Now let us move to the next section, that is types of scripts. Script writing is a versatile craft, and the type of script you write depends on the medium you are working with. Each medium has its own unique requirements, formats, and storytelling techniques. Here we shall focus on the 5 most common types of scripts. Number 1, screenplay. Screenplays are scripts written for films. They include detailed descriptions of scenes, actions, and dialogue, and they follow a specific format, such as the Hollywood standard format in case of Hollywood movies. Screenplays are visual blueprints for filmmakers, guiding directors, actors, and crew members on how to bring the story to life. One of the most iconic examples of a screenplay in Bollywood is Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, written by Aditya Chopra. The screenplay of this film is a masterclass in blending romance, family values, and cultural nuances into a captivating narrative. For instance, the famous train scene where Raj extends his hand to Simran is a perfect example of visual storytelling. The screenplay describes the moment with precision. Quote, Raj runs alongside the moving train, his hands outstretched. Simran hesitates, then reaches up. Their hands meet and she jumps into his arms as the train speeds away. So this scene, with minimal dialogue, conveys the emotional climax of the film through actions and visuals, showcasing the power of a well-crafted screenplay. This film's screenplay also excels in character development, dialogue, and pacing, making it a timeless classic in Indian cinema. Secondly, teleplays. So teleplays are scripts written for television shows. They are similar to screenplays but often include act breaks to accommodate commercials. Teleplays also follow episodic structures, with each episode contributing to a larger story arc. For instance, in any such plays, each episode builds tension and advances the overarching narrative of the protagonist's transformation or struggles. Teleplays require careful pacing and cliffhangers to keep viewers engaged week after week. They also allow for deeper character development over multiple episodes, making them distinct from feature films. Thirdly, stage plays. Stage plays are scripts written for live theatre performances. They focus heavily on dialogue and stage directions, as the story must be conveyed through the actors' performances and minimalistic staging. Unlike screenplays, stage plays do not have the luxury of camera angles or editing. So the script must account for the limitations of a live performance. For example, in the play A Streetcar Named Desire, Tennessee Williams uses detailed stage directions to guide the actors' movements and emotions, creating a powerful and immersive experience for the audience. Stage plays often rely on the raw energy of live performances to connect with viewers. Fourthly, radio scripts. Radio scripts are written for audio-only formats, relying entirely on dialogue, sound effects, and music to tell the story. Since there is no visual component, radio scripts must be highly descriptive and imaginative, using sound to create vivid mental images for the audience. For example, in the famous radio drama War of the Worlds, the script uses sound effects like crashing spaceships and panicked crowd noises to immerse listeners in the story. Radio scripts are a testament to the power of auditory storytelling, proving that a compelling narrative does not always need visuals to captivate an audience. And lastly, video game scripts. Video game scripts are unique because they are interactive. Players influence the story through their choices, so these scripts often include branching dialogue and multiple outcomes. Video game writers must create a cohesive narrative while allowing for player agency, making this one of the most complex forms of script writing. In fact, video game scripts also include instructions for gameplay mechanics, making them a blend of storytelling and technical writing. One of the most relatable examples of a video game script is Minecraft, a game that we all are familiar with. And this game thrives on player creativity and exploration. While Minecraft does not have a traditional narrative-driven script, its open-world design and interactive elements make it a perfect example of how video game scripts can empower players to create their own stories. Whether it is a screenplay, a teleplay, a stage play, a video game, or a radio script, each type of script has its own conventions and requirements. But they all share the common goal of telling a compelling story. Now let us look into the section Key Elements of a Script. So what are the fundamental elements that make up a script? Title. The title is the name of the script, and it's the first thing that grabs attention. A good title should be catchy, it should be relevant, it should be memorable, giving the audience a hint of what the story is about. For example, The Lion King immediately suggests a story about royalty and adventure, while Inception, it hints at a complex, mind-bending narrative. The title sets the tone for the entire script and plays a crucial role in marketing the final product. Secondly, scene headings, also called slug lines. Scene headings, also known as slug lines, indicate the location and time of a scene. They are written in uppercase and follows a specific format. INT for interior or EXT for exterior, followed by the location and time of day. For example, int.coffeeshop-day. This tells the production team that the scene takes place inside a coffee shop during the day. So scene headings help organize the script and guide the director and crew during filming. Thirdly, action lines. Action lines describe what is happening in the scene, including characters, actions, settings, and visual details. They are written in the present tense and should be concise yet vivid. For example, quote, John enters the room. his face pale. He glances at the clock, then nervously taps his finger on the table. This not only sets the scene but also conveys John's emotional state without needing dialogue. Action lines are essential for visualizing the story and guiding the actors and crew. Fourthly, dialogue. Dialogue is the spoken word of the characters, and it is one of the most important elements of a script. Dialogue reveals character traits, emotions, and relationships, and it advances the plot. Each character's name is centered above their dialogue, making it easy to identify who is speaking. For example, Raj, Simran, come with me, this is our only chance, unquote. This line not only moves the story forward but also reveals Raj's urgency and determination. Effective dialogue feels natural and purposeful, adding depth to the characters and story. Fifthly, parentheticals. They are brief descriptions within dialogue that indicate tone, emotion, and action. They are placed in parentheses below the character's name and before the dialogue. For example, when we see softly in brackets or sarcastically in brackets, this parenthesis helps the actor understand how to deliver the line. Parentheticals should be used sparingly, only when necessary to clarify the intent of the dialogue. Overusing them can make the script feel cluttered and limit the actor's interpretation. Fifthly, transitions. Transitions are directions for how one scene transitions to another. Common transitions include cut to, fade in, fade out, dissolve to. For example, cut to EXT mountain range - sunset. This particular transition tells the editor how to move from one scene to the next. Transitions help maintain the flow of the story and guide the pacing of the film or show. However, they are often used sparingly in modern scripts, as the director and editor usually decide on transitions during post-production. Next is character descriptions. Character descriptions are brief introductions of characters, often including their age, appearance, and personality. These descriptions help the casting director and actors understand the character's essence. For example, Raj, in bracket 25, charming with a mischievous smile, unquote, enters the room, unquote. So this gives a clear picture of Raj's personality and physical traits, helping the actor embody the role. Character descriptions should be concise but vivid, providing just enough detail to bring the character to life. Next point is formatting. It is crucial in script writing. Scripts follow strict formatting rules to ensure readability and professionalism. Key formatting rules include, for example, font size will be Courier 12-point, margins 1.5 inches on the left and 1 inch on the right. Spacing. Dialogue is single spaced, while action lines and scene headings are double spaced. So, proper formatting ensures that the script is easy to read and aligns with industry standards. It also helps estimate the length of the film, as one page of a properly formatted script typically equals 1 minute of screen time. So these key elements, title, scene headings, action lines, dialogue, parentheticals, transitions, character development and formatting, work together to create a clear and effective script. They ensure that the story is not only convincing to read but also easy to interpret and execute by the production team. Let us quickly recap what we have covered in this video. So, script writing is the art of writing for visual and auditory media. It differs from other forms of writing by focusing on visual storytelling and dialogue. Major features include visual storytelling, dialogue, structure, conciseness, and collaboration. Types of scripts include screenplays, teleplays, stage plays, video game scripts, and radio scripts. Key elements of a script include title, scene headings, action lines, dialogue, and formatting. With these basics in mind, you are ready to start exploring the world of script writing. Since script writing is a powerful form of storytelling that combines creativity with technical skill. So whether you are writing for film, TV, theater or video games, the principles we have discussed will serve as your foundation. Remember, every great script begins with an idea, a spark of inspiration that grows into a fully realized story. But it is not just about the idea, it is about the passion and dedication to turn that idea into something tangible. And script writing is unique because, as we have already noted, that it is a collaborative form of art. As a script writer, you are not just telling a story, you are creating a blueprint for directors, actors, and production teams to interpret and bring to life. So this requires not only creativity but also a deep understanding of the technical aspects of storytelling. For example, how to structure a scene, how to write a dialogue that feels authentic, and how to use visual and auditory elements to convey emotion and meaning. It is about connecting your audience, making them laugh, cry, think, or feel inspired. And it is also about creating characters that feel real, worlds that feel alive, and stories that stay with people long after the credit rolls or the curtain falls. So in the upcoming videos of this week, we shall deal in detail the varied facets of script writing, like the techniques, tools, and ideas to develop characters. Thank you.